pulling out your hair is not hard. In fact, it's really freaking easy. But where people go wrong is they've built these bad habits that end up snapping off the ends of their hair. And if you don't think I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you. Like, I'm especially talking to you. I'm actually surprised you made it this far. But don't worry, today I'm gonna show you how to stop pulling out your hair. Now, if you're one of those guys who picks out their hair every single morning, this first tip is for you. Never detangle dry hair. You need to understand that hair is actually super fragile, and it's in its most fragilistic state whenever it's dry. So if you're gonna detangle your hair, you want to make sure that you're using a lot of water and conditioner, because this is going to promote elasticity in the hair strand, which is going to make it more resistant to breakage. In fact, I'm going to show you a brief example because I am just that gracious. Editor, do your magic. All right, so you can look on the screen right now and see how I am detangling my hair. My hair is not dry. I'm using abundant water and conditioner. Don't be cheap with this, bro. Get your money up. Don't be cheap. Use a good conditioner and use a lot of water, and it'll make the process a lot easier, and you'll stop pulling out your hair. Now, if you're a dude, there's a high chance that you've never done this next tip before, but I highly suggest it. Because if you try this on your next wash day, I promise you will notice a difference. And that is using a pre-poo treatment. No, this ain't got nothing to do with number 2, okay? The pre-poo treatment is basically a treatment you apply to your hair before you use shampoo. This could be anything from using an oil or using, a deep conditioner or anything like that. Basically, you want to apply some moisture to your hair before you actually go through the washing process, because when you use a shampoo on your hair, it's naturally going to make your hair feel a little bit more dry because of its clarifying properties. It's going to naturally make your hair feel dry. So if you apply some moisture beforehand, you almost give yourself a little bit of a buffer before you go through the washing process, especially if you're going to detangle your hair, if you're going to separate or section off your hair. It just makes the whole process easier. So you could use a pre-poo treatment. You could buy like a specific pre-poo treatment, or you could do a DIY one. I'm not going to show you how to do that because I value, learning shit on your own. All right? I'm not supposed to handhold you through this entire process. You're a grown man. Or at least I assume you're a grown man from my analytics. And if you're not, then welcome. We have fun here. Now, a lot of the tips that you're going to learn in this video are actually going to help you with your hair journey and see progress. But if you want a little bit of extra help, I have a free PDF that goes over the top 25 best tips for hair growth. If you want access to that, the link for that will be in the description. It's completely free. So go down there and download it. And whilst you're there downloading it, you can hit the like button on the video. I know you see all this value that I'm giving you right now. Help your brother out. Now, if you think that using a leave-in conditioner by itself is going to moisturize your hair for the entire week, you deserve to have short hair. Because for most people, one product is not going to do that. This is why I advise you moisturize your hair in layers. A lot of my OG subscribers would have heard this before, but I like to use the LCO or LCO. Wait, that's the same thing. I like to use the LCO or the LOC method. What is the LCO? Well, I'm glad you asked, but you jumped the gun because I'm about to explain it. Liquid cream oil or liquid oil cream, whichever one you want to use. And it's basically this technique where you add products in succession. So you not only add moisture to your hair, but you're also able to seal that moisture inside. This will keep your hair softer for longer. So you don't have to add a leave-in conditioner to your hair every single day. You could do it once every 5 to 7 days, which will also, break up the manipulation that you're applying to your hair and make life easier for you and make your hair grow. Does that sound like a good deal? I think I would take that. How does moisturizing your hair help prevent you from tearing it out of your head? I'm glad you asked, Timmy. It goes over that whole thing that we talked about earlier, where moisture promotes elasticity in the hair strand, which makes it more resistant to breakage. So if you're making sure that your hair is moisturized throughout the week, you're giving yourself a better chance to actually retain that length that you grew out of your head. Now, unfortunately, moisturizing your hair, even if you do it perfectly, isn't going to save you from breakage if you're still doing this next mistake. And that is detangling your hair from the roots. This is what we'll refer to as the root. And this is what we'll refer to as the ends. Whenever you're detangling your hair, you want to start from the ends of your hair first and then work your way up to the roots. Think of it like when you're untangling some earphones that were in your pocket. Okay, let me land on this, right? So you get the earphones, but if you were only to pull from the middle knot, that's not going to make sense. It kind of makes more sense. You kind of start from the outside, you find one end of it, and then you be like, okay, the end is here, and it goes through this loop, and then it goes around here, it goes under this. Okay, if I just pull it out of here and then rearrange and then take the square root of 59, then you will find the middle part. Did that all make sense? Are you following? Do you need the board? So always make sure that you're detangling from the ends first and use that water and conditioner. It's going to make it easier for you and you're going to experience less breakage. Because if you do start from the roots, you're likely going to make your hair even more tangled because you're just going to be pushing those tangles up. And that's not fun. Now, even if you detangle from the ends of your hair, please, please, please don't fall into this next mistake because you'll be ripping out more hair than you actually save. Even if you're starting from the ends, do not start with a tiny comb like this. I advise that you use something that I like to call the detangling hierarchy. What is the detangling hierarchy? It's the path that you should follow when you use these detangling tools, right? You want to start off with something like your fingers. Your fingers are the best tool that you could use to detangle your hair because you actually get to, switch up the pressure. You could make sure that you're not pulling as hard as a tool would. Then you could move on to something like a wide tooth comb, and then you move on to something like a pick, or then a detangling brush or something like that. The main principle is you want to move from tools that have wide gaps in between the teeth, lower, going down to tools that are a little bit more finely toothed, finely teethed. Find one of those. Find the next point of this video. Many of you start off with the wrong tool. Some of y'all start off straight from a pick. But if you want a document that actually shows you like a little visual demonstration, because a lot of you are visual learners, right? You could join my community on School. It's basically where I help a lot of you guys out. We have group calls from time to time. That's basically where I'm going to be putting all of my PDFs and stuff like that, just to make it easier for you guys to get those. If you're interested in that, the link to the community will be down below. Join. It's a fun time. We're all dedicated to improving ourselves. And shameless plug out the way. Moving on. Now, if you're a guy who's growing out his hair, you want to learn, but you don't necessarily know which questions to ask, I want you to watch this video next where I go over the frequently asked questions that I get on Instagram so we can answer those questions for you, put you on the better path, and make sure that your hair grows as quickly as possible. But no guarantees, because I ain't Jesus. And if you like this video, like it. That's all I have to say. That's all for me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.